You off to class?
Just the one today, then I can pick up Timmy at Lisa's on the way back.
You look terrific today.
Ah, just another pretty face, that's me.
Your heart's as pretty as your face, that's what I like.
That runs in the family. I'll see you later. There.
Oh, there I was. Next time, whistle while you walk. It's easier on my heart.
I came the back way. Well, are you on for citizens concerned about the fault? My house tonight at 8.
Which fault did you have in mind?
The fault. San Andreas.
I pass.
Kate, do you know how many earthquakes California's had in the last 2 years?
No, and I'd like to keep it that way. I refuse to become paranoid about being swallowed up on my own sidewalk, but if I am, I want this hedge in perfect shape. Besides, Nancy said something about my babysitting tonight.
Well, let Doug babysit because he isn't invited. Can I lure you there with the promise of entertainment? I'm having a psychic reader.
A fortune teller?
No, not as I understand it. I don't know exactly what it is he does, but he's supposed to have real powers. Kate, it's going to be a small turnout. Please come. Good. Then it's all settled. See you at 8.
And those aspiring young law students, you might like to believe in the law as a tool for the good guys to use against the bad guys. It's more often than not, the reverse is true. I wouldn't let that discourage you, however. Hold it. Before you rush off to your wives, husbands, and lovers, you may remember early in the semester, I told you I'd be recommending 2 of you from this class as legal aids to Benjamin Maxwell, who, as you know, is a very eminent attorney and who is also a friend of mine. Well, the 2 students that I've decided upon are Ms. Emily Lockhart and Mrs. Nancy Maitland. Mr. Maxwell's office will contact both of you at home.
How lucky can you get? How'd you manage that one?
Manage it? I don't even think I was in class when he mentioned it the first time.
You must have been somewhere.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Shepard? Dr. Shepard.
Nancy Maitland?
Yeah?
Hi, I'm Emily Lockhart.
Hi. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I was just about to start searching for you. Now that's nuts, isn't it? There's so many people in this class that half of us don't even know each other's names or faces.
Think about what that means when we hit the job market.
Well, we're getting good with Maxwell. It's a step up.
Well, the work will have to speak for itself.
Yeah.
It must be the city of Pasadena versus the Phelps Petroleum matter.
Oh, yeah, the case, the violation of the environmental laws.
And creating a public nuisance. I hear he's incredible, very demanding. He works his staff to death. You have to be on your toes all the time.
Well, I guess Shepard thinks we're up to it. Hope he's right.
Yeah. Listen, if you want to talk some more, I'll meet you here tomorrow at 3.
Fine, sure, I'll be here. Thank you.
Lockhart maybe, but Nancy Maitland. Come on, man. There's no way her grades are better than mine.
Well, I guess not, or you'd be on your way to Maxwell's office and not the library.
Everybody's a sucker for a pretty face. Even our eminent professor.
Well, Professor Shepard does know the shape of the women in class as well as he knows the shape of a summation. And Maitland's got some shape.
So Lockhart can work all day and Maitland can work all night.
Another culinary triumph.
Ah, praise from Caesar is praise indeed. Buddy, would you take care of dessert? I have to check with Nancy and see if I have to babysit.
She's staying home. She says she's had enough of the world for today.
Oh, in that case, how about a movie?
Oh, not tonight. I brought work home. I thought you were going to Elaine's.
To a crisis committee on stopping Miss Ann Andrea's fold? No, thanks.
Well, it might be very informative.
And that's not all. Once we've set our earthquake strategy, she's invited a psychic reader to reveal our deepest depths. For reasons unknown, she calls it an entertainment.
Psychic, that sounds like fun.
Go, Mom. You might find out something about Mrs. Hogan's depths.
Quakes and quacks. The combination is too much for me. Now, who's for dessert?
I've got to call Audrey.
My social life is waiting. If you do go, Mom, see if there's a gorgeous blonde in my future.
I'm off work. Have a good time tonight, honey, and don't be too late.
Late?
At Elaine's.
I told you I'm not going.
Oh, go on. If he's the real thing, he may answer some question that's been burning away on you for years. Like, will I strike oil in my backyard?
Not only that, if I go, you won't feel so guilty about bringing work home, right?
Honey, you're psychic.
Attention. Attention. Because even I don't have the gall to count your contributions in front of you. Besides, I think it's time for a little diversion. I've invited a special guest to take your mind off the problems of the world in general, and California in particular. I'd like you to meet Mr. Calvin Manners. Mr. Manners is a psychic reader.
You can all stop wondering where I left my turban and my robe and my crystal ball. I don't use those things. Those things are for show business, for charlatans. See, if you're the real thing, you don't need costumes to impress anybody. I am not an entertainer like Frank Sinatra. And I don't make a fortune from my work like a lot of people I could mention. See, I didn't do anything to earn these powers. So I'm not about to get rich from exercising them.
This has got to be a put-on.
If you'll all relax your minds and bodies, try to keep an open flow from you to me of whatever thoughts you may be having. And we'll see how it goes. Some nights are good, some nights are not so good. Tonight feels pretty good. All right, one thing I sense right away, someone here is very worried about a child.
Steve.
There's been a fall at the bottom of cellar stairs. Does that mean anything to anybody?
My son. Steve fell this morning when he was on his way up from the basement with his bike.
Hope he's not hurt too badly.
No.
Maybe you could buy him that book he's been wanting.
Book?
Yeah. Never mind. You wouldn't approve. Miss Hogan, your car keys are in your brown leather purse. In the lining, there's a tear.
How did he do it?
Someone in this room is drinking very heavily. If she doesn't stop, it's gonna kill her. Her husband hates her for it. Every day, darkness grows between herself and her children. In a cottage in the wood, little old man by a window stood.
Elaine, excuse me, but I think I'll be going.
You can't. It's just getting interesting.
Knocking at the
Just
door.
getting, I don't know what, but I don't like it. Besides, he's tone deaf.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what that song is.
My nursery school kids. I've been teaching that to my nursery school kids. I can't get it out of my head.
Marsh. Does that name mean anything to anybody? Could be part of a name, Marsh. Marshall. Does Marshall mean anything to anybody? Please. Marshall. It's urgent.
My mother's maiden name was Marshall.
No, not your mother. Not Katie's mother. Another woman named Marshall. Hôpital. Fleur. Très loin. France, somewhere in France. Katie, Ellen wants to know you. Ellen wants to see you.
Mr. Manners.
Airplane tickets to New York. Look under the box of handkerchiefs.
Are you all right?
I thought for a minute I was going to faint.
What is it?
My mother's sister, Ellen Marshall. She disappeared in France over 30 years ago. My mother dreamed over half her life of being able to find her. She called her name just before she died. Yes.
I heard you get up. I went back to sleep. It was hours ago. You were about 8 when this was taken.
7. It's odd seeing Mother so young. And Ellen. Nancy looks rather like her, doesn't she?
You still worried about that psychic, Manners?
I know it's absurd, but...
But?
Did Hattie ever talk to you about Aunt Ellen?
Not that I remember. You've talked about Ellen casually.
It was hard for Hattie. She adored her. When she disappeared.
Oh? Black sheep of the family?
No. She was wonderful. I loved her, too. Very much. Oh, she was a little wild. Very romantic. She wore scent. Lilac. She always used to put a little on my wrist. When she was 17, things sort of blew up for her at home. She ran off after a terrible battle with Hattie. That was that.
She'd be about 60 now.
Close. Hattie only heard from her once. It was a letter asking for help. She was in France. But the letter was over 3 months being delivered. And by that time, the war had started.
Hattie never did anything about the letter?
She tried. What could she do? Still, she never forgave herself. After the war, she went to France. There's no trace of Ellen.
Poor Hattie.
It was her dream, finding her little sister, rescuing her. We didn't even know from what. It was my dream, too. Because I loved Ellen as much.
Maybe even more than I loved my mother. And I still love the memory of her.
Dear Kate. I don't know what to tell you. You know as well as I do. In all likelihood, Ellen is dead. Man has probably picked up on something in your subconscious. I suppose there is some validity to that business.
Doug, I've never known such turmoil before.
I wish I'd never talked you into going. You've got to try to forget it. You can start by putting this picture back where it belongs. Now, let's try to get some sleep.
Hey, Peaches, what are you doing?
Practicing. For foods class this afternoon. I have to make an omelet. You're not the only junior member in this family that can cook, you know.
Well, I didn't. But if you insist. But he's cooking. We could sneak out for an egg McMuffin. Hey, is Mom around? I'd like to borrow her car. I've got a freelance assignment this afternoon.
Well, congratulations. No. No, she's still sleeping. She had a rough night.
Did the psycho psych her out?
Not psycho. Psychic. Yes, he did, in a way.
How?
Buddy, you just stick to your cooking. I'll stick to the morning paper.
It's not for me.
It's not for me. I already called Audrey.
Hello. Oh, yes, she does, but she has her own phone. Number... Oh. Yeah, I can take a message. Ben Maxwell's office before noon. Yeah. No, that's all right. I know the number. I will. All right, bye. Ben Maxwell. Nancy's really moving up in the legal world.
Who's Ben Maxwell?
Oh, he's an extremely high-powered attorney, famous for taking on causes, unpopular ones, and winning.
Well, maybe he switched to popular and he wants to take on Nancy.
My masterpiece is done. If you want it, Dad, you can have it all. Willie can starve.
Finally, my luck has changed.
Ooh. You like?
Morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Daddy.
You're up early.
I just dropped Timmy at his playgroup.
Ben Maxwell's office tried to reach you. There was no answer, so they called the house.
Oh.
You're not going to get away with that.
What?
With not telling me what the prestigious Ben Maxwell wants for the likes of you.
I was just beginning to wonder the same thing myself.
What is it? Did I say something?
No. Yes. Dr. Shepard selected me and one other woman in the class to work as aides for Maxwell on this Phelps environmental case.
Well, that's terrific.
You don't think I'm up to it? Neither do I. It's like my being high school historian all over again. Let Nancy Lawrence make the speech, because if you can't stand to listen to her, you can always look at her.
You forget you had very good grades.
So did other people. Better. I can't get by my looks all my life.
Mr. Manners really has a gift. He certainly threw you for a loop.
It was the name, Ellen Marshall. Really, it's not an uncommon name. He might just as easily have said Jane Smith.
But he didn't. And what about my car keys? You know, there is such a thing as ESP. Reputable universities do studies in it.
I know. I'm very confused about the whole thing.
Go and see him privately.
I didn't like him very much. But maybe it's the only way to settle it for myself.
Settle what?
My feeling that he's just a trickster with a keen sense of his audience.
He has a regular job downtown someplace. I'll get his phone number. Go on. It can't do any harm.
Yeah. Manners.
Mr. Manners, it's Catherine Lawrence.
Look, you'll have to speak up, lady. It's pretty noisy around here.
It's Catherine Lawrence. I wanted to apologize for leaving so abruptly last night at Mrs. Hogan's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, that's okay. See, I have no way of knowing how something I receive will hit. You look like a ton of bricks fell on you.
Well, you see, Mr. Manners, Ellen Marshall was my mother's sister's name.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling. Most people don't cop to it if I hit home.
What I wanted to ask you was, my aunt disappeared many years ago.
I'm not the Missing Persons Bureau, Mrs. Lawrence. I'm not even a professional psychic. Try one of those guys the police drag in when they're stuck.
Oh, I couldn't do that. Would it be possible for me to see you? I'd be happy to pay.
Look, I told you, lady, what I have is a gift.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. Would you, do you have the time to see me?
I'm here till 6. 1441 Ladera Road. And bring a picture.
A picture?
Of your aunt. Sometimes it helps. And look, just remember, Mrs. Lawrence, this is your idea. I just repeat what I receive. The rest is up to you. Well, you know what you can do with it, Dr. Geddeston. Yet if that doesn't suit you, try hiring a nurse who can take a decent impression. It's 2 doors down, on your left, Mrs. Lawrence. Come in, come in.
How did you know I was here?
I call that a dumb question, Mrs. Lawrence. Sorry. I was going for a joke. I never had what's known as a winning personality. But I do have other pluses. For instance, I'm honest. I'm an honest man. I call that a plus, wouldn't you, Mrs. Lawrence?
Yes, I would. Mr. Manners.
Patience, patience. I don't often get a chance to talk about myself, especially to a lady of your caliber. Sensitive and understanding is how I see you. When I was 15, I was in a car crash. Nearly bought it, but I didn't. When I recovered, I had my powers. It was in my 20s before I learned to control them. And I knew right away that I had to use them to help people. Because that's what gifts are for, Mrs. Lawrence. Helping people.
I don't doubt your ability.
You sure about that?
Mr. Manners, I came here. If I thought you were a charlatan.
Yeah, right. Have you ever been arrested for exercising the talents that God gave you? I didn't think so. Well, let me tell you, it makes you leery of people. So, finally I got myself a job making teeth. I'm good at it. It keeps me out of trouble. Teeth don't talk.
They help, though. I'm sorry, I really shouldn't have come.
In your purse, a photograph. Hattie, Ellen, Katie in the middle. You're a very pretty little girl, Miss Lawrence. Let me see the photograph. Psychic reading is not a science, Mrs. Lawrence. It's an art, but a clumsy one. I can't just make things happen. Your aunt is in France. She's not strong. I can't do it every day, on call. Nobody can, no matter what you see on TV.
There's nothing coming to you, is that it? It's all right. I didn't think there would be. I mean, I wasn't sure. Maybe it's me. I don't think I'm a good subject.
Last night, the images were very strong. I am not a fake. I have powers. But some days they're not as strong as others.
I see. And thank you anyway, Mr. Manners.
No, leave the picture. There still may be something.
Well, no, I'd rather
Look,
not.
I need it. And I'm sorry you had to come all this way for nothing. But who knows?
Nancy. Nancy. Oh, I thought we were going to meet at 3. Oh, sorry. I have to go home.
Well, okay. Hey, did you talk to Maxwell? His office called. He's speaking here tomorrow. We're supposed to meet him in front of the lecture hall at noon. I guess he means business directing us here on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I won't be there. I'm not going to be in on the project. It's personal.
Well, what did Shepard say?
I haven't told him yet.
Well, you know he's gone for the day.
Well, I'll catch him later at home. Look, Emily, good luck on this. I know it'll be wonderful for you.
I knew I was crazy to go. He's strange. Compelling and repulsive at the same time. All those teeth staring at you.
I wish you hadn't gone.
I wish I hadn't let him keep that picture. I took the one from the piano with me.
He kept it?
He got very proprietary about it.
Well, you're not to go back there. He can mail the picture to you. Kate, forget it.
I will. It's just that I guess I thought he'd really help me find Ellen.
Where is the healthy, skeptical woman I love?
Right here. I think. There is something about him.
Not another word. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. Fini. Got it, kid?
Got it, kid.
That is nice, you know, just the two of us. Huh? Children around?
Nancy's in. I asked her to join us. She almost bit my head off.
Oh, did she mention working for Ben Maxwell as an assistant? She was one of two chosen out of her class.
She never said a word. That's quite an honor, isn't it?
I think she's scared silly about it.
She'll get over it. It's all right.
What? What is?
It's all right with me if you go over and have coffee with Nancy.
Yeah, under other circumstances, I'd say you were a mind reader.
Boo.
Come in. Oh, damn.
Something wrong?
No, it's all right. It's nothing.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you this morning. I want to tell you how proud I am about the Maxwell assignment.
Thanks.
Nancy?
Sorry, Daddy. I just don't feel like talking tonight.
Well, if you're worried about the assignment, don't be. You can handle it.
Daddy, let's not kid ourselves. I didn't get the thing because I deserved it.
You think you got it because you're so all-fired cute?
Yes, that's exactly why I got it. You can just bet that Emily Lockhart's the brains and Professor Shepard just threw me in as some kind of extra added attraction.
Do you have any proof?
No, I don't need any. It's the same old story. It happens. I've seen it enough times to recognize it.
You trying to tell me you flirted your way into this job?
No, not consciously, but I'd see it starting and I'd allow it to happen. Nancy knows how to handle her teacher, so Nancy gets the plum summer job. Nancy knows how to get her man, so Nancy gets Jeff Maitland. Well, this time I'm not going to let myself get away with it.
Nancy, you worked very hard at school this year. I've seen the work. It's first rate. You've earned working with Maxwell.
Burn a zip.
There's a word for what you're going through. It's panic. You're scared. You're using the past as an excuse. Leave it where it belongs. Get in here and give this job a shot. If you fall on your face, I'll be very surprised.
I'm awfully tired, Daddy. Thanks for trying.
Hello? Mr. Manners, I can't talk to you now. It's the middle of the night.
It's the picture. I couldn't put it down. I didn't even go home.
We're asleep. I don't want to wake my husband.
Ellen and your mother parted badly. Ellen is 58 now.
Just a minute.
Miss Lawrence, are you there?
I'm here.
There is pain. If I came to you, to your house, the place where you live, a place where your mother has been.
If you came here, you knew how I felt. He couldn't have made it. Tomorrow at noon. I'll be here, Mr. Manners.
You asked him here?
Yes. He's been, whatever he calls, receiving. He's sure he can find out the rest.
Absolutely not, Kate.
I have to, Doug. It meant so much to Hattie.
Some charlatan drops a name and a few hints about France. On the basis of that, you think you can undo a past misery.
He's not a charlatan.
Call him what you want. What he's received comes from you, things you've been thinking about.
He's gotten things I couldn't possibly know. How do you explain that?
He hasn't got so much. Don't blow it up. You don't have to explain it. It doesn't matter how he does it. What matters is you're insisting he dig up stuff that should be laid to rest.
Oh, Doug, I knew that Ellen was leaving. I was only 7 years old, but she told me. She told me not to tell Hattie, and I didn't. I buttoned up like a little soldier. If I had told Hattie, and I think maybe Ellen really wanted me to, if I had told my mother, she could have stopped Ellen.
Kate, you were just a baby.
Maybe I've always felt a little guilty. I have to know. I need to. Not just for Hattie's sake, for mine.
Kate, it's past. Forget it.
I can't.
What matters is the present. You, me, the kids, Timmy. Those are your responsibilities now. If you go through with this, you'll be very hurt by what you hear.
You're wrong. It'll be settled once and for all.
You're wrong. Once the dust is stirred up, it'll never really settle again. Never.
This to you at such short notice, but I have to go somewhere, and can you take Timmy for a couple of hours?
Not today, Nancy. I'm sorry.
Oh, Mom, it's awfully important.
I'm sorry.
If you need a sitter, Nancy, I'm at your service.
Well, it won't be for long.
Come on, big boy. We'll make a morning of it.
It's all right, Nancy. I'll see you later.
Hi. Change your mind? No, I just couldn't reach Shepard. I didn't want to just not show up.
Good morning.
Hi, Dr. Shepard, may I talk to you?
I'm sorry, we don't have much time. Ben, these are the two students I've chosen.
I'm glad. I find it stimulating having intelligent, attractive women on my staff. I'm sure we're all going to enjoy this project.
Dr. Shepard.
I'm sorry. Which one of you is Maitland? Which one is Lockhart?
You don't know?
I lecture 3 times a week, and each time the room is jammed with different people. I don't know half you by name.
Dr. Shepard, why'd you pick us?
Simple. You turned in the best papers. You are?
Maitland, Nancy Maitland.
Mrs. Maitland, you've got a lot going for you. Your work is excellent. Ben, this is Nancy Maitland.
Hello.
And
Emily Lockhart.
course. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
If you ladies have some time, I'd like to fill you in on what we'll be doing.
Come on, Miss Maitland. What, may I ask, is so funny?
Me?
Let me tell you something. If you're going to work for Ben Maxwell, you better start taking yourself seriously.
I think I just have.
Mr. Manners, come in.
Miss Lawrence? It's nice. Very nice. Always liked a house that looked lived in.
Thank you. Would you like some coffee or a cup of tea?
No, thanks. I never drink before I work. Hi. Who else is here? Someone in disagreement?
There's no one. Everyone's gone out.
Something wrong, Mrs. Lawrence? You seem edgy.
No, I'm all right.
There is hostility here. But it doesn't matter. Getting other things. Very strong. Sit down, sit down. Relax, please. Katie, don't tell. I'll write. Katie, if you know anything, tell your mama. Did Ellen tell you anything? No, Mama, no, Mama. No, Mama. You have to concentrate. I need your concentration.
I'm sorry.
March, April, May, June. June, France has fallen. Ellen is in pain. I'm sorry, it's no good. All I get is resistance. It's like a wall, resistance.
Resistance from who?
Not from me, Mrs. Lawrence. Not from me.
I'm sorry. I am trying.
Close that window. Noise is not conducive.
We made it. Want to be a ball player? Oh, wait.
I thought it would be quiet here.
See the car? Come on. Oh, Timmy, getting so big. You want to hit or you want to pitch? Huh? Hit or pitch?
I thought there'd be no distractions.
Be a pitcher. You want to throw me a curve? Throw me a curve.
Close that window.
Come on. Watch. All right.
It's a white room.
Come on, play ball.
She's there. She's there in the room.
Timmy.
Her face is towards the wall.
Take the bat. Come here. Take the bat.
Ellen turned to me.
Gotta have a good stand. Timmy, you're wearing me out. You want to hit, you want to throw. Come here. Get
She's
out
going
of
to
the
look
car.
at me.
Stop the car. Put on the brakes.
She's going to turn her face towards me.
Come on, Timmy.
Close the window, Mrs. Lawrence. Close it. Close it now. Close the window, Mrs. Lawrence. Close that window now.
Put his hand up higher together. What's
No.
the matter with you? Do you like the bat?
What?
No.
Here. Ready?
It should be open.
Keep your eye on the ball now. You got it?
Then I can't continue.
Throw it, then you're going to hit it. See?
I know, and I'm sorry.
It's sorry. I have brought you my powers.
They don't belong in this house. I'm truly sorry.
I could tell you, you know. I could tell you everything about her. Everything.
I believe you. But I don't want you to.
I came here with a gift.
It's a gift I can't accept.
Well, it's your loss, lady. It's your loss.
I'm back.
Yes, I am too. You were right.
What happened?
I decided I didn't have to know.
Well, I'm glad.
The picture belongs here.
Daddy's absolutely wonderful. Just the most dynamic man I ever met. And his energy, my goodness, it makes me feel like I'm 100.
So now it's Ben Maxwell, the prophet, huh?
I know. I just feel so lucky. And by the time this project is over, I'll be able to take on anything. Ben says I have a knack for this kind of case.
I don't doubt it for a minute.
Nancy, telephone.
Me too.
Okay. How's Nancy?
Brilliant. She loves the project. Ben Maxwell thinks she's brilliant.
Good. Nothing like a little recognition to perk up a person.
That was Ben Maxwell.
Oh, not more work today.
Oh, no, he invited me to dinner.
I'm glad I wasn't on the receiving end. Did you really tell him off?
Not exactly. I told him I like Chinese food.